Fox is interested in moving the NASCAR All-Star Race. So we know the NASCAR All-Star Race for a long time ran at Charlotte up until 2019, ran at Bristol in 2020 through the pandemic, and the last 2 years at David's home track, Texas Motor Speedway. But the network is exploring the idea with NASCAR about possibly moving the All-Star Race to a different location, similar to what the MLB does every year with the All-Star Game and moving that to a different location. Guys, if that were to happen, what are some prime candidates do you think that would be at the top of that list?
So here's something to keep in mind as far as that goes. Some other factors. That's right now the All-Star Race is an SMI race. If SMI were to lose the All-Star Race, then they'd have to pick up a cup date. It had to be like a swap of some sorts, I believe. So with that in mind, there's two ways of looking at that. Either current SMI tracks or a swap deal of, is there a track that you'd like to see that is a NASCAR owned track and, trade out with an SMI track or something like that. Obviously, if besides all the other factors, I think everybody loves the idea, David, of Eldora getting involved in hosting the All-Star Race. Tony Stewart's already put that out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd hate to see Texas lose the All-Star Race, but we talked about it before. I think the All-Star Race should move around. It's an All-Star Race, and one track should have it for 2 years or a year and move the All-Star Race around. But not only Eldora, what comes to mind is Bristol. Man, I'd love to see the All-Star Race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Man, that would be incredible.
Yeah, and they put on a good show when they had the All-Star Race, a couple of years ago, and had a good turnout there with the pandemic situation. Don, what comes to mind? Who do you think would be a good candidate for the All-Star Race?
I think you have to factor in what you said, too, about SMI and wanting to keep the All-Star Race. That would eliminate a lot of tracks, right? If we know Fox is going to want to keep the All-Star Race and SMI is going to want to keep the All-Star Race, that leaves just a few tracks. That would be Las Vegas, Atlanta, Bristol, Texas, Charlotte, Coda, and Sonoma. So maybe one of those. You still have a variety there where you could bounce it around year after year. But yeah, those are the tracks that would come to mind at my short list.
And there's a couple of SMI tracks that they own that are not on the circuit right now, including North Wilkesboro in Kentucky. Could we see them get involved, you think, Don?
Potentially. I think I had seen about a year ago, Kentucky Speedway, as of 2021, was being used to, I think, park a lot of vehicles for dealerships and stuff. Like brand new cars were being parked. I don't know if you guys had seen that photo, but it was a bunch of Toyota Tundras, I believe, lined up in the infield, all scattered across the track and the surface. It'd be nice to be able to see movement on that track, and maybe SMI could resurrect it.
Yeah. What about North Wilkesboro? We've seen some rumblings about a return there. Could the All-Star Race, you think, be a good fit, David?
Well, you gotta, there's a lot of factors, and the markets, big markets, when you think of the All-Star Race, just it belongs in a big market, and as excited as I am that they're going to have a late model race at North Wilkesboro. It's coming back. They're trying to bring the racetrack back. So much history there, and I love that. I'm not real sure if the All-Star Race really belongs at North Wilkesboro. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't think the market's big enough, but it's not too far out of the Charlotte area. I don't know. I don't know. It's, I don't know. I think it belongs in a big market because it's such a big event with so much money, so much at stake. It's just a lot of hype behind it.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Anything's possible. Who would have ever thought that we'd have saw a NASCAR race at the LA Coliseum? You know what I'm saying?
So, and Fox was a big part of that, of the inner workings. Dom, I don't think I'm reading too much into this here, but knowing what Fox did, they were a big part of putting together the Clash, and now they're looking at the All-Star Race, and the next TV contract coming up, here soon. I have a feeling that Fox is going to be a big mover and shaker. Like, the direction of this sport is not a diss on NBC at all, but I feel like Fox is going to kind of lead the way. They're kind of calling the shots for the sport and in the vision of it going forward. They're making, Ben Kennedy and company, their first phone calls to Fox. It's not to anyone else.